Yes, indeed, I am from the African Climate Policy Center in the UN Economic Commission for Africa. And COP28 is particularly significant because this is the first time that we are reviewing the performance of the Paris Agreement through the global stocktake. As you know, the first technical report of the global stocktake was published in September, and it indicates that we are off track in terms of achieving many of the objectives of the Paris Agreement. And we, as the African Climate Policy Center, see COP28 as the COP which is going to review performance, but also attempt to put the whole world back on track in order to achieve the objectives of the agreement. The COP got off to a very good start with pledges into the loss and damage fund, which was a very positive thing to happen. Of course, the pledges are still below what is actually required to meet the losses and damages that are being incurred. But the negotiations on the other issues beyond loss and damage have been somewhat slow in our opinion. There is not much that is happening in terms of other forms of climate finance. There is, I think, some complications regarding the finalization of the global stocktake. There is also very little that is happening in terms of funds for adaptation. So we think that there is a lot that can be done, and we hope that this second week of the COP is going to resolve those outstanding issues. Yes, yeah. Well, I mean, as UN, in particularly as UN in Africa, we expect that there should be adequate financing, particularly to build the resilience of African economies to the impacts of climate change. This is a huge crisis, especially after the COVID pandemic, which also destroyed African economies. So we expect that there should be an increase in adaptation financing, as the Africa Group has been requesting. But secondly, also, we expect that the developed world will do more in terms of mitigation in order to ensure that we don't continue to interfere with the climate system. Well, we are not negotiators, we are observers here, and our support to the negotiators is to point out the impacts of the different actions of the different parties. So we expect, we hope